Welcome back, guys, to episode 2 of the Terrible Gaming Podcast as we join you. Part 2 of episode 2. Where we left off with part 1 was we got into the very dangerous hole of VR porn, oddly enough.
You had to use the word hole, didn't you?
Well, it's a glorious hole, yeah.
VR porn.
You don't want to know what we were talking about on the break. We'll leave it at that. Shit. But that's actually a good topic to stay on is virtual reality. Let's talk a little bit about virtual reality. The PlayStation VR just came out last week, I believe. The Vive, whatever you call it, has been out for a while in limited quantities. The Oculus Rift, I don't even know if it's out, but it's on the way. There's some samples out there. So VR is in people's homes. I've watched some people live stream VR games, whether it's there's one of the ones in PSVR with the sample pack game as you go in like a shark tank underwater and you're underwater diving, or there was the Until Dawn VR where you were at like a clown theme park and you were on a roller coaster shoot it. And so I mean there's obviously there's the Batman VR. There's very limited VR things out there right now, but I kind of want to know what your guys' opinions are of virtual reality.
Are there any non-gimmick games out yet?
I was actually looked at that. There's a game. There's basically 2 games for the PSVR going to be released in November. There's one called Eagle Flight, and there is one called, I missed it here, one called Robinson the Journey. And I have no idea about either of them, but that's the only 2 games that are slated to come out in November, other than like if there's demo things or whatever.
Right.
But Eagle Flight's a gimmick, right? Like
no, Eagle Flight is that Ubisoft game that they showed at E3, where it's like a.
I'm watching it now. It looks beautiful.
It's like a capture. It's like a capture the point style. So you've got your teams. I remember they did a live thing of it, but so you've got your team and the other team, and you've got your base, and you try and get the. You're trying to get the object. You pick up a ball or something, and you try and. That's what they've shown. I don't know what else there is with it.
Fuck all the bullshit. Okay, just stop. Just stop. Fuck all the bullshit. Where's Quidditch?
Right.
Yeah.
That should be a thing.
That's kind of a no-brainer, right?
Where's Quidditch?
Yeah. I see. This is. I'm a little more. Well, at least in talking with Grover, I feel like I'm a little more reserved on VR being super successful just for now. Just because you
hate fun, that's why.
No, it's because of what I've seen.
I think it has a higher chance of being successful than fucking 3D did. Because it offers a immersive experience. So I think anytime you can offer an immersive experience, I think you have something, because that's entertainment, right? Like when you want to be entertained, the reason why we go to a fucking theater is why? Because it's way more immersive. You have a big screen. It's the fucking sounds. Like for me, it's like IMAX. It's not really the screen for IMAX. It's the fucking sound. It's it's the crushing. Like Interstellar, which is one of the most phenomenal movies ever because of the sound. So that's what you're going for, right? So like I think if you put me in a fucking world where I look left and right now, I'm in a video game. You send me that experience, So
I think the potential for it is almost not limitless, but the potential is very, very high that you can go so many different ways with it. The one thing that I haven't seen, and I haven't delved a bunch into what's been at E3s or what's been like, even I watched a few people stream some of the demo stuff for on Twitch for the PSVR.
Yeah.
Thing I haven't seen yet is and we talk about this with the Nintendo Switch as well. You can have all the whatever you want with it. I need at least one killer app to make me want. And so far, so far the potential looks really good. It just, I think it's gonna take something like.
You know what it's gonna take? It's gonna take Resident Evil 7 to release. That's what it's gonna take. Because that is the first full-blown AAA release, and that's the thing is VR. A big part of VR games is going to be horror games, jump scare, and a game like Resident Evil 7, from what they've shown and what the demo was. What was it was that kitchen demo that it was, right?
Yeah.
And then at E3 they were like, hey, actually this kitchen demo you played, it's actually Resident Evil 7. So I think
didn't they already say though that's not what the actual game's gonna be?
No, but they said that is the Resident Evil 7 demo.
So basically, after what's that fucking game that Kojima did? PT.
Yeah.
So after PT, they fucking made the game. Okay, cool. Like, yeah.
No, this isn't Konami though. This is Capcom.
Yeah. But it's just like anything, right? Like
after PT, fucking Capcom was like, hey, look, that's a good idea.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I think it's super, super early in the whole VR thing. It's also super expensive still. You know, the PSVR was a step to getting it more, you know, more at a price point where people will actually go ahead and buy it. Like, what do the Vives go for? Like a couple thousand, don't they?
No, they're like 800, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
The PSVR, the base PSVR American is what, $499?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get into the $500 range. I think. I think it's worth paying for a console. Like for me, if you release like I don't know, I'm not gonna say Zelda because I don't like, and I don't know that like, but I know for me, if you release Zelda on a console, I'm gonna buy that console. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care if it's the fucking Xbox fucking 4. I don't care. I'm buying Zelda on that bitch.
Right.
So if you release a game for me that I'm like, okay, like great example, Xenoblade Chronicles X. I bought my Wii U for that. Now it turned out to be a fucking great decision because of how much I enjoy my Wii U.
Like others, yeah.
Yeah, but I bought it for that reason. So if you just give me one game where I'm like I can invest and I can say, okay, look, this potentially could be worth $500. I'll pay that experience. I pay for that experience, but everything else is just gimmicky. And it's kind of like the Wii. Like, cool, I'll play your fucking archery game for a little while, and show it to my friends that when they come over for a party, which never happens. But and then I'll put it in my fucking closet.
Yeah.
So
there's one of the guys I watched stream, which you guys have probably seen before. The guys that do the Far From Subtle guys that do video games awesome. They were doing a couple of streams with the PSVR stuff, and something I kind of didn't think about, but it makes a lot of sense is as they were playing a bunch of the different games, there was two things that they came up with. One of them was the girl on Video Games Awesome. Whatever the fuck her name is.
Girl,
yeah, the one of them.
Girl.
Wears glasses.
Hot girl. Wow, and, I mean, hello.
Yeah, but that's one thing is that they'll have to tweak a little bit to make sure that they've got. So I think it just was a little bit cumbersome to wear with glasses. So I mean that's one thing, but the other thing that as they were playing a couple of the different games, like the ones that where you're standing still and doing stuff and moving around, that they said was pretty intuitive and they moved around and whatever else it is.
Right.
They also played one that was like you jump from like asteroid to asteroid, like a space shooter type of thing. And it was like they actually couldn't play more than about 3 minutes of it at a time before taking the thing off because it was
and that's also a gimmick.
Like they
were feeling nauseous or
feeling like disoriented and like they were gonna fall over even though they were sitting down. Like they had no like measure of reality, like where their center of gravity was because of what they were seeing and experiencing. And that's kind of interesting because if you're moving around, like having seen people use the Vive on videos and things like that, like you walk around, you have the little things that you're reaching out for. That's all normal. Like you're moving normal, everything is responding like you normally would. But if you're jumping in something that's alternated from like space to space, or even if you decide like a Legend of Zelda-like game, I'm going to explore the world and I have to use a controller to move around. That's like, that throws your body off when you're not moving, but you're moving. And that's all your periphery sees. It may just be that's something you have to get used to as you play.
Well, but it's like the Vive has those controllers, and the PSVR has your PlayStation Move sticks. And from what I've seen from people that have it and don't have it, they say that when you're not using the PlayStation Move sticks and just using a controller, it just doesn't have the immersive feel to it, like actually using your arms. And like there's that game on the Vive that, and I think it's probably on PSVR now too, is that Job Simulator where you sit at your desk and you make coffee and you play on your computer and you print this and type that and throw a paper. Like if I'm using a controller, like that doesn't feel like I think the thing with VR that should get a lot of people actively involved is that like you have people are going to have like an entire room where that's where they play VR and they've got their sticks in their hands. They can walk 8 feet in each direction or whatever it is, and they feel actively involved in it. Versus if you're just sitting there with a controller in your hand, sitting in your computer chair, I mean, it's still probably going to be cool because it's like, whoa, I can look around and this and that, but it just doesn't have the same immersive feel to it as actually being up and involved and using your arms and.
But see, that's where I wonder about that. Like that Resident Evil demo is the perfect example. Like that's kind of the first big immersive, like it's a game in VR. It's not just a VR experience kind of thing. And that's what I kind of wonder about. Like, let's say you are somebody that has an entire room with a lot of space that you can set up, the VR things on the wall and use those. And you're playing a Resident Evil game where you're supposed to be walking down corridors and opening doors, and like you only have a certain limited range to do that. So you're gonna at some point have to use something for mobility and moving around. And that's where I worry that games might just lose either, like you said, the immersion for people or lose people because like I'm a pretty good person with like moving things. Like I don't get nauseous on planes or car rides or anything, but there's people that do really easily, and something like that might be a lot more difficult for them to get used to. So that's kind of for traditional games, the way things are set up. Like if they're going to do a Batman Arkham game, that's cool in VR if they can pull it off in a way that's immersive and doesn't make people need to get off the roller coaster and puke.
I don't want to play that. That's too much movement for me.
Yeah,
that's
how cool would it be if you owned a store and it was like an arcade, and so one of the games was a VR game, and so you go into the area and it's a floor, and whenever you would walk, the floor was like a treadmill or something, and it would move in whatever direction you like. See, so that way you're fixated in your position, but you're moving around, right?
Yeah,
like that would be amazing to see.
They're doing that. They're working on that. Yep.
They actually do that in the mall north of you, Grover. I was just there a few days ago, and they have like a kiosk in like not in a storefront, but like they have one of those old like the old big like arcades they used to have just in the horsey rides with the other. They have a thing where you strap in and put an Oculus Rift on, and it's like you experience whatever you pay $5 for or something. So it's starting already.
And I think one of the biggest things too is going to be again tact, like the feel. I think and this is going to be way more expensive, but like once you get to the treadmills, once you get to the vest, the are like whatever that make you feel, the bullet, when you get shot or whatever, some kind of vibration, maybe a fucking shock. But, for me, I'm honestly, if I bought a VR right now, the biggest thing I would get it for is for movies.
Like that's what I was thinking is how, like if you're watching, because I've never worn I shouldn't say I've never worn a VR headset, but the only time I've ever worn a VR headset was in like 1992.
Yep,
no, not Virtual Boy, but I remember there was a demo set up. It was the original Doom was set up for VR, and I remember sitting there and playing it. And when I took the headset off, my chair was in the direction I didn't think it was in, and all this. But anyways, like I haven't put on one of these new headsets, but I'd be curious: is it just like you just see a screen in front of you, or can they somehow wrap it around so that it feels like that's like I would love to be able to watch an action movie. And they're probably going to start designing movies, so like that that Hardcore Henry movie. Like they're probably going to start shooting movies with 3D cameras, and so that you could put on your VR headset, lay in bed or sit on your couch or whatever and feel like you're actually in the movie doing the thing. Pew-pewing whatever the movie's about, right? And
so on the PSVR, they have you play the VR games, but you also have the ability to use it as the screen.
And
so you see like
you see black all around, probably, right?
Yeah, and you can change this show. They actually showed on one of the streams like how to change so you can have like super crazy close-up screen and then scale it down a little bit, so you could just use your PlayStation with the VR thing and not look at anything else.
Like if I could just sit down on my couch, chill out, and watch Fast and Furious or whatever I'm watching, like Lord of the Rings. You could just like that's cool. You could.
Is it wireless? Is it wireless?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you can like take a shit and watch Fast and Furious. It'd be great.
Yeah, I don't know how.
I believe it's Bluetooth. Yeah. But
yeah, you do. I don't know that you can do that. I think there is a.
You can't take a shit and watch movies. It's fucking
it's got like some kind of proximity, like it works within a short distance, I believe, because you have to have some kind of a connection with.
They need to rethink this.
It's like a Wiimote, like how you have to be so close.
I want to be able to get into my car and drive away and feel like I'm in Gran Turismo. That's what I want.
What if I have a fucking Tesla? Okay, a Tesla. That just makes sense.
Yeah.
Officer, you don't understand? I have a Tesla. I can wear the Star Trek fucking helmet.
Yeah, can you? Are you allowed to text and drive if you're in a Tesla and not actually driving? That's what I want to know.
I'm gonna put an office in my car. Okay, I'm gonna fucking turn my seat around, put a fucking desk in the back of my car, and just like.
Well, I remember seeing a video months ago where this guy was literally, he had his seat reclined back, and was sleeping. He was sleeping in his car while his car took him home. Like
that's gonna be
2016.
I'm gonna get a fucking ticket for that. I know I will. I'm gonna fucking sleep in my car, while I drive.
But yeah, I mean, I'm curious with. Like obviously VR, PSVR, Vive, it's in the honeymoon phase, right? It's in the nostalgia phase. And I'm curious what's going to, like, why should I just drop everything and buy into this, right?
There's no reason for it unless you're going to watch movies on it. There's a cool movie.
Right now there isn't. Right now the only reason is nostalgia or hot new item, check it out. Like if there's this game, like if there's a game that changes gaming through virtual reality, and I don't know if Resident Evil 7 is that game. I don't know if it is, but if for me, you think about a game like The Last of Us, where it made everybody go out and buy a PS3 so they could play The Last of Us, and there's been other games throughout. Sorry?
Smash, Mario Kart,
yeah. But like, shut up, Jofu. So yeah, like whether it's a Mario or like you said, Zelda. People are probably going to buy a Nintendo console just to play the new Zelda game.
Yeah. Well, they're not going to buy Wii U because they're fucking out of print. So
hey, so does that mean mine is now worth more? Is that? But like that's the thing is that what's going to be that game that makes everybody go, holy shit, I need a PSVR, or I need a Vive, or I need an Oculus Rift.
Well, this is the thing. They're pretty vested into VR at this point. Like, Facebook bought Oculus, right?
Yeah.
So that's around for the next 10, 20, whatever. I mean, they're fucking invested. So they're going to make software for the VR. There's going to be software. Chances are there's going to be a fucking great experience for VR.
Right.
It's not out yet. So I'm gonna wait for the price to go down.
And by the time it comes out, maybe a PSVR is only $399, right?
Well, I'm not. See, PSVR, I'm not like I'm very skeptical about PSVR in particular. Like I'm very skeptical for that, just because like I just am. I'm not entirely sure that somebody's gonna develop for that system. It is. I mean. I'm more inclined to like open source. You're gonna get an open source game, like maybe like I'm all about fucking modders, right? I'm all about like you give modders tools, they're gonna fucking create a great game. So I'm more inclined to believe that Oculus or the Vive is gonna have the better games. Just because I think whenever you give modders tools, they create something called League of Legends, well Dota. They create Dota.
Sorry,
and that's what happened.
I don't know if it was a connection issue, but I think all I heard you say was PC Master Race. I think.
So that wasn't more. That wasn't more so of a PC Master Race as it was a give tools to passionate people.
Yeah. Well, I was saying to Battleflag. Wasn't there a guy who made some crazy ass mods for Skyrim, and as a result got hired by Bethesda or something like that?
I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, but look at the fucking guy who made what's that zombie game? That's still on alpha.
H1N1.
Arma? No, Arma.
Daisy.
Arma.
Daisy. Yeah.
Yeah. So that guy. That guy.
Oh, you mean the guy that ripped off 3 million people? Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. No, I think that'll be tough because, and I think you're right. When you look at companies that are making games for consoles, like we talked about on the last podcast about, Call of Duty and making games that are essentially the same or just updates or whatever. They're not, game companies right now aren't really into taking risks, because taking risks means putting a large amount of money on the table to be lost. And like Resident Evil is doing their thing with Capcom stepping into it, and they might have to do that because Resident Evil's kind of become a little stagnant. So they're trying to jumpstart something with that in there, maybe. And it's a horror game, and that's an interesting idea for something with VR, right? So maybe they're thinking like, yeah, we'll take the plunge. It could be a slam dunk.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of AAA titles making a VR version anytime soon until they see that there's some success and some money behind it and some units. I mean, they're not going to... Call of Duty is not making VR until they see that they've sold a few 100,000 of those.
Unless it's an easy port, right? Unless it's like a port where they can just say, okay, let's just plug this thing in. Let's do it VR.
See, now here's where I see it being like, imagine you're playing a shooter game, whether it's Call of Duty or something, where you're holding an actual, like a toy gun in your hands that has reloading, it has a trigger, it has all kinds of things, and you have foot pedals that allow you to go forward, backward, and if you crouch, you actually crouch in game. Like I can remember playing on the Wii Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles, and it had that actual gun that you would put your Wiimote and your nunchuck into, and it was like you were playing one of those old school arcade shooter games.
On rail, yeah.
And I had so much fun playing that game just because. And then I took that same gun and tried playing Call of Duty World at War on the Wii and basically wanted to throw it out the fucking window. But that's another point. So like, how cool would it be to? And that's the thing is like VR wants you to feel like you're in it, whether you're going on a roller coaster ride shooting zombies, or like how cool would it be to be involved in a shooter game where you're actually holding a fake gun that represents your artillery that you have, and if you crouch down, you crouch in the game, and you have pressure pads that you press, and that makes you run forward, so you're standing up and you're moving around. Like, to me, that would be like, if there was something terrible. Like that. Yeah,
your arms are gonna hurt.
You have no fun. You hate fun then. This is the same guy who
arms are gonna
This hurt. Is the same guy who when he sees a video game, the first thing that runs through his head are, can I cheat in it somehow to make progression better?
Pay to win, baby. Pay to win.
Can I pay? Can I bot? Can I download? Is there something I can do so that I don't have to put in the effort? This is the same.
It goes back to for Connect. Like, I thought the Connect, like when I see Connect, I was like, Casey makes fun of me all the time, but like, I was like, oh, this is going to revolutionize gaming.
The Kinect should have revolutionized gaming. It's just Microsoft handled it extremely fucking poorly.
Like that for me was, I was thinking, like, think about the stuff they could do besides gaming, like with that, like just, accessibility, for example. Well, like, I have a brother in the chair, like that could help, just tremendously, like anybody, So go ahead.
Right.
But again, coming back to the games, what was the killer app for the Kinect?
So honestly,
Just Dance.
Dance Central was the shit. Like, it was pretty cool.
So we got that. What's number 2?
For my kids, they had a Sesame Street game. It was pretty badass. Connectimals.
But I mean, that's a real small, like, that's a big drop. Like, the Wii, the reason why the Wii worked so well is because it stumbled upon their killer app on launch. It stumbled upon bowling. And that sold that sold
million
so
consoles
much
because of fucking bowling.
Oh, exactly. And that's all they needed to do. And then the rest, they made Mario Kart work, they made Mario work, they made Zelda work, and that's all you need for a Nintendo console.
The Wii was a fucking accidental success.
Probably the Wii game that I had the most hours in was Wii Sports. The fucking demo disc that came with the consoles, probably what I had the most hours in.
So did 65% of the people.
Tennis and bowling and tennis and bowling and bowling
Home run
and
derby.
Tennis and bowling and bowling.
Those games are terrible. They were not good at all. Like, it wasn't like they were fun. They weren't good.
Yeah. But again, it had the thing where you pack that in and it's a success. So that's all it. Think about, I mean, the Kinect is the Kinect. What about the Move? That shit was terrible. Like, that just was, there wasn't even a game that was good with. Like there was nothing.
Truth is, they should have held on to the Move until VR came out, because now the Move is relevant again, because that's that's your joysticks.
But that's the measuring point, right? Like the measuring point is a bunch of failed stuff, and the VR stuff seems eerily like the Move and the Kinect. Like that. That's why I'm really
reticent. There's so much money on the table with it, though. There's like again, like Facebook. There's HTC. There's PlayStation Now. The HoloLens. There's too much money on the table now. Like
that doesn't mean it's not going to be bad, though. Like there's a lot of money on the table. I realize, but that might just mean that there's a lot of money to be lost as much as there's a lot to be gained. Like
Could be.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that. I think like I would like to see. Well, I actually would hate to see a really good MMO that mimics what was that fucking one? I can't remember. Anyways, it's basically you being able to fly in the MMO and shit like that. That'd be pretty cool. Sword and Shield. I want to see like a fantasy game with or like a medieval game where I'm jousting, or I'm fucking with a shield and tank, magic users, healers and whatnot. And I look behind me and it's fucking Grover sitting down, instead of healing me. That like that type of shit, like a multiplayer experience like that where we're fighting dragons and shit. I think that'd be cool. Or like or reliving parts of like badass movies. Parts of Star Wars where you're flying a TIE fighter, you look around you and you see fucking bigs. You just see like different shit. I think that'd be cool. But like I think you have to do it right, and I think it's not going to be the same type of experiences that you expect from a console. Like that's why like PSVR for me is not really like I'm not expecting it to be good, because the games that we're going to get on there are console like. I'm assuming we're going to get very console like gaming experiences, and I don't think it's I don't think you're going to get typical gaming experiences. I think it's going to be very story driven and less gameplay driven. I think.
Could be.
Yeah. Well, I think your open source comment, I think, is pretty on point, because that's where the innovation comes from. Yeah. Like when it's something new like this, is going to be a lot of people trying to shove square peg into round hole with old style games into a new thing, and it might, like you could, it'll be somebody coming out of left field that just has a crazy idea that'll develop it for the next 3 years. And it'll come out, and everybody will go, "Holy shit!"
Anytime you give players fucking control, like Call of Duty, I was curious. They finally came out in September with the mod tools. You're gonna, in the next few months, or next year, you're gonna see a massive fucking game come into that. There's gonna be like,
you can do prop hunt, which is what, like a Gary's mod thing. You can now do prop hunt on Black Ops 3 on PC.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
So. That's gonna be big. I mean, because somebody's gonna because this is the thing. A lot of gamers don't like buying new games.
Right.
They don't like buying think about like how long you play fucking GoldenEye. A lot of gamers like playing the same shit. So out of that, you're gonna see a lot of gamers keeping that game because of mods. Like there's gonna be a lot of people who like to be creative, and you're giving them the tools. So you're gonna see them next year. So you're gonna see a massive fucking probably a massive add-on that EA is. Who is it, EA, or is it who owns that shit?
Sorry, the
Call of Duty.
Activision.
Yeah. You're gonna see Activision fucking cash big on.
Which is technically Blizzard, I guess. So Blizzard owns Call of Duty.
Activision. I think it's vice versa. I think Activision owns Blizzard.
Oh well, one or the other. Yeah.
Well, other way around.
So.
Wait, so you're telling me one day I'm gonna see Call of Duty World of Warcraft?
Wait,
that's called Overwatch. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, Call of Duty Infinite Overwatch.
BlizzCon's this week.
BlizzCon hype.
There's speculation that there's going to be either Necromancers in Diablo 3 or there's going to be a Diablo 4.
I'm gonna say neither, and it's gonna be a Diablo 2 HD remastered.
I would love that. That would be great.
I would literally drop everything and
that would actually make sense, because it's the 20th anniversary, so that actually may happen.
Diablo 2 is the first video game for me that I ever developed the need to grind. Like, I can't tell you how many times I sat there doing Mephisto run, just for no reason other than knowing that he dropped he had the best chance of dropping items in the game. And and when I got to a high enough level, doing rushing people for their forge in hell, and then doing bale runs and
cow runs.
Yeah, and cow runs and cow runs and cow runs and like that was really one of the first PC games that I openly played with friends. And I had played computer games a little bit, like some of the first.
I had a friend who deleted Minesweeper just so he could play fucking Lord of Destruction. That's a true story. That's a true story.
But like, I mean, I remember I played Diablo 1, but I only ever played single player.
I played it on the PlayStation. It was really good.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
But Diablo 2 for me was, I was in high school and I had just, like, I had bonded with some friends over playing Diablo 2, and Diablo 3, I mean, I've played with people and it's fun and it's a great game. I just haven't been into it.
They did a great turnaround. They did
after the auction house and all that fuck ups, they've redeemed themselves. But
I thought auction house was a great idea. I made money from that.
Yeah,
it was good.
Yeah, the 0.5% thought it was a great idea.
I just didn't think. I think it wasn't. I don't think the issue was the fucking auction house. I think the issue was making your game around the auction house. Yeah. That was the issue. Like, so, legendaries were shit, and they barely dropped.
So when did Diablo 3 come out? 2012? I think.
Yep.
So it was. I remember it was May 15th, 2012. I don't know why I remember that, but I do.
It's so because it's the day I started watching Tally.
Sorry?
That's the day I started watching Tally.
Oh, was it? But so that game's been out for 3.5 years, just under 3.5 years. Do we need a Diablo 4 yet?
No, but I do think, like your comment with the Diablo 2 remaster, I think it's far enough away from the launch that's not going to mess up Diablo 3 anymore, unless they have a expansion, in the works. But I think fans, if you're going to do a 20th anniversary anything, Blizzard, you're going to do. First off, you're going to do a Warcraft 3 remaster, and you're going to do a fucking Diablo 2 remaster. I think that's the two things that you come out with.
Wasn't Diablo 3 remastered just the Wrath of the Lich King mod or expansion?
Warcraft? Oh, yeah. It was basically Legion.
Yeah, it wasn't... I was going to say, the Lich King and Legion. Okay, we did it, yeah. Yep. I would be so much more excited for Diablo 2 remastered than I would be for Diablo 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and not to say that I mean, Battleflag, I know we're talking Dutch to you because you're just not into that, but
so real talk.
Segment. New
segment. You can go on break if you need to. Yeah.
Well, I when I was in high school, I played about a day. I don't know how long we were there for, of Diablo 2 at a LAN party. And it was the only LAN party I'd ever been to in my life. And we played one day of Warcraft 2. And the next Blizzard game I played was Overwatch. And that's about it. So, real talk, if you notice I'm not contributing much to this conversation, you know why.
Yep. But I mean, to be fair, after Diablo 2,
sorry, go ahead. I understand how big they are.
I stopped playing Diablo 2 when I went to university, and I didn't pick up a Blizzard game again until World of Warcraft, I don't think. But again, I didn't start playing World of Warcraft in 2004 or whatever, 5, whatever it is. I started playing World of Warcraft halfway through Cataclysm, which is probably the worst time you could ever start that game, but I did, and I lasted a couple years. But I mean, just because of the memories I have of Diablo 2, and going over to a friend's house, and we built an extra computer in their family's computer room just so that one extra person could come over and play Diablo 2 with us, and just it's just the memories and the nostalgia, right? And I think that's like I say it now, like how unbelievably excited would the world get if Super Metroid got remade?
Yeah.
Or games like that, because so many people. Super Metroid did not get redone.
They just have like Fusion. They've made games that were very similar.
I've been playing Fusion. Fusion is brand new game.
Yeah, but isn't it like just like fucking Super Metroid or Metroid 2 or whatever?
So it's a side-scroller Metroid. Okay.
No, it's like same idea, but they added new mechanics. It's totally
okay. Is it
story.
a side-scroller Metroid?
Well, yeah, it's a Metroidvania game. Like it's still a Metroid game, but it's
but imagine this: an exact carbon copy of Super Metroid. But,
I wouldn't be that excited.
But listen. A carbon copy of Super Metroid in Metroid Prime gameplay, like a first-person 3D style.
I wouldn't care
in the Super Metroid. Why would you?
Like, I'd be excited. I'd be excited because like it's. But I wouldn't be like, oh my god, that's like releasing Legend of Zelda 1 in 3D. Like, what? How does that even? You don't even what? That doesn't compute. That's
I'm 50-50
I think you guys are stupid. I think it's the greatest idea ever. And fucking book it. Cut me a royalty check. Let's make it happen.
Like, I don't know. I think I feel the same way about a lot of things with that. Like if you're gonna remake Super Metroid, I don't think you can do it in 3D. And still keep it.
Like, give me 10 years to learn how to make video games, and I will prove you wrong.
But no, if you're gonna upgrade, like I don't want you to change my game. I want you to give me a new game with a different mechanic. Like, give me a new Prime game, or like give me Prime with upgraded graphics. Not that I'm a big fan of that.
Give me Super Metroid Prime. Okay, yeah, but like Super Metroid Prime.
But
I'm okay with that.
But again, why would you want to go and like?
It's two different games.
It's like remaking the movie The Wizard of it's like remaking The Wizard of Oz. Why would you do that?
It's nothing like remaking The Wizard of Oz.
But it's such a classic thing. Like, if you take something that's made that long ago, that's made with like old Hollywood studio tricks and massive lighting, all these costumes and whatever, why would you make it with CGI? Like, you're taking away the magic that was so good about the original. Yeah. I think if you took Super Metroid specifically out of 2D, you're taking away part of what made that so magical.
If you want to just play the original, or you could play this badass Prime-styled amazing Super Metroid.
I was gonna make a point that like I could still play Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction, and like still have fun, but it's just a fucking eyesore. Like it literally is, like I can still play Super Metroid and be fine with it. It's not an eyesore. It's like whatever. Final Fantasy VII, it's a fucking eyesore. There's certain games like Suikoden 2. That game is fucking beautiful, or not beautiful, but it's like it was made with sprites, so it's like okay, whatever.
Sprites seem to have aged a lot better than the polygon stuff.
Right, it's like a Super Mario RPG. That game that just looks like dog shit. Mm-hmm. It's like that game.
It's amazing.
It needs a fucking HD remaster. Mm-hmm. But like certain games just don't need it. Like you're like Super Mario Brothers would not fucking need a HD remaster of that unless you do like the graphical style that they do.
Well, to be fair, Super Mario Bros. Has had several HD remasters in just the next series of their games. It's the same, like new Super Mario Bros. You can't tell me that that's not a Super Mario Bros. Remake. Especially because you start playing and World 1-1 is exact same as World 1-1 for Mario Bros.
It's
and you know what? Of all the the Mario games in the last couple of generations, those are probably my least favorite. Like, I'd rather play 3D World or
3D World
64 or even like Mario Sunshine and Luigi's Mansion are a lot of fun.
So here's a question: if Mario 64 was to get re-released using current Mario engine, like the way that the new Mario game that they showed on the Switch commercial, like what if they took Mario 64 with updated graphics,
with better controls? That'd be fucking amazing. I mean,
give me a new game. Don't give me the same thing. Use the same engine. Give me a new game.
The thing about that game though is that game was so nuanced with fucking terrible controls and just like it was 3D. It was
trolley like camera,
yeah. Like so, if you give me a better experience, that just better graphics, whatever. Like that's cool. Give me like I'll pay $10 for it, whatever. Yeah.
But I'd rather if you're gonna update that.
Yeah.
Like I played Mario 64. Give me a new game. Give me a new Mario game. Like.
Yep.
I'd rather do that. And that's why the Metroid. Like, if you're gonna make another 3D Metroid, make me Prime 4. Don't make me Super Metroid.
So
or make another 2D Metroid and make me Metroid 5.
So what you're saying is that instead of Skyrim remastered, we should have got Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, actually, I would prefer that.
As far as like Bethesda's concerned, it's money, right? So they're like, okay, this is going to cost us very little to do that. We talked about this last time. It's going to cost us very little to fucking do this, and we're going to sell a bunch of these.
I would love to know how many copies they sell, because I bet you it's just a shitload.
Oh, it'll be a lot, but I mean that's the personal preference. Like if you're juxtaposing and saying, would you rather have a remake, like a redo of this old game with a new engine, or a new game? Personally, I want a new game. I like the new engine stuff, but give me something new that's going to be designed for that engine.
There's certain old experiences I would love to relive again, and with like in better quality. But yeah, as far as like a new experience, like just give me a new experience. Like it's kind of like with Final Fantasy VII. Like people are upset that they're gonna change stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I've already played Final Fantasy VII. Give me a new Final Fantasy VII. Like
using the same universe but making a new game. Yeah,
even using the same characters. Like that's what fucking Final Fantasy is, right? Like it's the same name, the same some of the same character. Some characters and some areas, whatever.
Right.
Give me a new fucking story with the same characters. I don't care. Like make Barrett fucking the hero. I don't just make something that's awesome.
Where a game and Cloud dies at the beginning, and you're living life after Cloud. Like, how great would that be?
Spoilers.
Wow, I think I just spoiled Final Fantasy VII. Sorry.
Cloud died. No, but it's like Game of Thrones, but a fucking Cloud dies.
Right.
Like, what? Tell me that story. Like, how would we go on without Cloud? Like, what's the story? After that, that'd be that's actually an amazing idea.
I'm gonna remember this, and in a year and a half when that game comes out, and I was right, I'm gonna link this podcast, and it's gonna go viral, and I'm gonna make $3 off monetization.
Until Nintendo blocks you because it's on the new Nintendo console.
Yeah, I don't say the word Nintendo too much, or we'll get dinged with a copyright strike for infringement content.
That's great.
But what about fair use? Fuck you, we're Nintendo.
Fair enough.
Oh, Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm as far as like remakes, talking about this again, just give me a new game. But for them, they want money to make their new games. I guess.
That's the thing is if you can produce a remastered game in a third of the time, to not only put some stress off of your company for pushing something out, and give you funding to. So let's say they're working on a Diablo 4, but it's not going to be out for a while. But hey, in 1 year of production, we can pump out a Diablo 2 remastered, and make a few $1 million off of it to help make Diablo 4 even. Just a number. Like why is that not an okay thing? Like you look at like we talked about this with Ubisoft, where they said 2016 we are not releasing a new Assassin's Creed game, but then they go, oh, just kidding, we have this HD remastered Ezio collection we're going to give you to alleviate pain. No, and I'm cool with that too, because I think if you're doing that, obviously that's a different team versus the team that's working on Assassin's Creed Electric Boogaloo or whatever.
It would be the same thing. It'd be the same thing with fucking Diablo, right? Like it's not like they're taking away resources to make Diablo remastered. Like they have the employees to do it. They made fucking Hearthstone with 10 people. Like they have these small like fucking ghetto teams that go and make these masterful games.
Right.
Yeah. The team that made fucking Overwatch, the team that made fucking Hearthstone. There's probably a team making the next fucking big whatever. And so they have the resources to do
StarCraft
it.
Ghost.
Yeah.
Please do StarCraft Ghost.
So there's probably a StarCraft that well, they're not making any more StarCrafts now, so whatever.
Did they say they're not making a StarCraft 3?
I don't think they. Why would they do that?
What are they, Valve?
I mean, well, no. If they're Valve, they aren't going to make a StarCraft 3. Yeah.
All things that are numbered.
Like I always say, how great would it be if instead of ever announcing Half-Life 3, one day at E3 or something, Gaben just walks on the stage and goes, "Check the Steam store," and then walks out. Like, how great would that be if? Yeah. Like, that would be one of the greatest launches in video game history. If
that's how it happened.
You know what? I have a feeling that might start to happen in not just video games, but a lot of things, because of music, because of the way that people like Beyonce and Frank Ocean and Bon Iver and Kanye have all started dropping albums, and even Radiohead dropping albums with no notice.
Right.
Like Frank Ocean's album that was like supposed to come out, it was delayed all last year. And this year it was delayed, and literally it was like hey, it's on iTunes an hour from now. Go get it. And like Beyonce did both of her last 2 albums, Lemonade and her self-titled one, like she dropped them with no advance fanfare and was just like, there you go. Radiohead did the same thing when they did the Pay You As You Go, and like it's been wildly successful. People, like, the downloads have been off the charts for that. So I wouldn't be surprised if video games like that started just to happen, be like, hey, game's done, bang.
Well, they did that. They did that this year with the Trials and Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon mix.
Mm-hmm.
They announced that game and said, "Oh, it's on the PlayStation Store now."
Mm-hmm.
How much risk is involved with them doing that? Like, I
mean, I think it's...
I'm sure there's a fair amount of risk, but like, let's say like Avengers, like, oh, hey guys, Avengers Infinity War. Oh, it's out today. Like, you couldn't do that, right? Because
movies are a little different, I think, because there's not a permanence to what you're getting. Like, you have to set up theaters in advance and all these other things. Like games, you drop it now.
But we're in a situation in the next year or so or actually maybe sooner than that, where we're watching movies from our homes. You know, the movie experience is like, let's talk about this with VR. Going back to VR, you know, watching a movie from your home, or they have the services now where you pay, you know, I think it's like $200 or maybe like $50, and you get you can rent a movie. You know, that could very happen. Like, that can happen where you don't need a movie theater anymore. You don't need fucking say, okay, look, all right, it's like, hey guys, this movie's fucking cut. There you go, bam.
Yeah. And that's happened. Like, remember when that Seth Rogen movie came out where they were making fun of Russia or whatever? Like, that got denied a release by Sony. They just scrapped it. So they said, hey, it's on Netflix right now, and everybody went and watched it. It wasn't a great movie, but everybody went and watched it because it's like, what, I can get it now? Yeah, I'll get it.
Well, and I mean, you see that slowly with like on demand. You can watch usually a period of time before it's available on digital download and on DVD. So you're getting a little bit of an advance. Like, it's only like a couple weeks or whatever it is. But not only that too, you're seeing that, like, it used to be a movie would come out and the DVD wouldn't come out until like a year later. And now you're seeing a movie comes out, and depending on how good it does in theater, if it's a movie that tanks in theater, you might see it out on DVD within like 2 months.
Yep.
Right. Yep.
But I mean, by that point, they're already looking at something as a failure, so they're trying to make up for it. Like, this is a way to combat that, to say, like, people, you know, for big AAA games, you look at the marketing budget for so many of them. Like, we see all sorts of Infinite Warfare ads and Mafia 3 ads, and, you know, the things that kind of like Gears 4 ads. And you see all that, and it's the advanced hype machine that they're generating so that people get excited for those things. At what point, and I mean, the music industry's been in decline for so long with sales because of downloads taking away from it, and now streaming services, like, they're trying to combat that and fight it. And I mean, video games aren't really in that kind of decline, but if those things start to maybe go a little bit, I don't know if you'll see like Activision or anybody do that, but I could absolutely see Valve saying, Portal 3, go play it right now. And like, with no advance notice. It's just, we know they're developing it. We know they're doing all these things.
Especially if it's a good game. If they know this shit's good.
Or like, it's a company. That's why you look at, like, with music where, like, Beyonce and Kanye and these powerful figures. If it was just a local band and did that, or someone that wasn't as popular, there's no way that would work, right? But everybody who's anybody is gonna want to listen to Beyonce and Kanye and like let's say Eminem after taking 10 years off, all of a sudden says, hey, yo, I got a new album, it's right here right now. Fuck, everyone's gonna drop what they're doing and do that. And same thing with game. Because there's so much hype around Valve as a company, if they were to up and say Half-Life 3 confirmed now, like, they're not going to get punished for that because of the way that social media works and all that, where social media is the greatest form of advertising in the world, right?
Who benefits from hype?
The company.
Pre-orders.
Who's
really, like,
but yeah, so like
Sean Murray from Hello Games.
So great point. So let's say Sean Murray says, okay, No Man's Sky, like prior to all hype, it's launched now, and like instantly everybody's like, oh, this game's shit. So like, there's no hype. There's just this game launches, and you have a situation where that game sells maybe like 2,000 copies versus 20 million or how much ever you fucking sold, So like hype is actually great for the fucking consumer, but it's terrible for fucking. I mean, hype is terrible for the consumer, but great for the
company. Yeah, and that's what I mean. If companies continue doing what they're doing with big marketing budgets, start to lose money, the people that can do that, and Grover's right, not everybody's going to be able to do that. Like an indie developer that's never made a game before, they're not really going to be able to do that. They got to get their game out and get exposure.
Quentin Tarantino could do that.
Yeah, he could right now for sure. But like, there's a select few of that, and even with gaming, there would be a select few. Like, I don't know that Activision or Ubisoft could do that right now. Bethesda probably not. Like those big
Call
companies.
of Duty could do it. Call of Duty is probably one of the only games that they could.
See the benefit
but people are so fanatical about wanting to know. There might not be a benefit,
but
yeah. But like for Call of Duty, such a fanatical what's next, and they're always getting Call of Duty games. I don't know that it would work. Portal, Half-Life, Quake 4, like those things have been like, well, we would really like this, and
we already have blue balls for those things, right? We have blue balls. It's kind of like how Fallout kind of worked. Like it was like, okay, Fallout 4, oh, it's coming in 4 months or whatever it was. That worked for that game because people had blue balls for it.
If on the Nintendo Switch, they could do that at launch, if 2 weeks before launch somehow they kept it secret enough to say, oh, by the way, we have another launch title. It's the new Metroid game.
Yeah.
Boom. Like suddenly
that would work for that. Yeah.
Because again, you already have a built-in loyalty program of whatever. Like to sell them a new Dishonored game.
That would work.
Probably not.
That would probably work for any Nintendo IP. So like you could do that for Mario Kart, fucking Mario, fucking Zelda, whatever. You can use that for Donkey Kong. Maybe not Donkey Kong, but there's a few titles you can do that for.
But Metroid's right in that perfect sweet spot, right? Yeah, everybody wants a new Metroid.
Yeah,
everybody wants a new.
It's been long enough. It's been long enough. Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see that someday. To just at an E3 or at a Tokyo Game Show or something like that, for somebody to just like be on the sly making one of those with one of those companies.
Bethesda kind of set a precedent, right? They were like, with Fallout 4, they were like, okay, here's this game, and you're actually going to be playing this in the next few months. Like that was massive for them, And I think that's going to happen again. I'm pretty positive other people are going to use that. Maybe Blizzard. I doubt Blizzard because they take so fucking long with their games.
Yeah. No, it'd be interesting. It would be something different, and I think when you look at marketing techniques, especially in entertainment, that's really like. Movies are fucking terrible for it. Like they are so over the top with advertising budgets because that like it's all about opening weekend box office. That's all it is for big major movies. Like they will do that because they need to make that money back because a lot of times the movies are getting more middle of the road for
they're trying to recoup the production costs,
exactly.
So that they can get all the money when they release this on DVD or on demand. Like that's
and I mean they also have to make money for times when it's like it's going to be Oscar season here starting right about now, and those movies are going to come out and they might you might spend $40 million making an Oscar bait movie.
Drummer movie? What was that with
Simmons? Whiplash.
That movie was so fucking amazing, but I think it made like $90,000 in the theaters.
But that's the thing is like movies like that have a second release because of the hypes around the Oscars, and that's the thing. Like J.K. Simmons wins for Best Supporting Actor, and the movie wins. Did it win Best Picture?
I don't know, but it was amazing.
But it's nominated for Best Picture, and it wins. Oh, it won like Best Cinematography or something. Or something like that, and wins Best Sound. All of a sudden. This movie is on everybody's radar, and they want to go see it. That was an amazing
Oscar season, by the way. That fucking season was really good.
Yeah, it had a lot of good movies. I think I was 12 Years a Slave and not Boyhood, but Nebraska.
It wasn't Boyhood. It wasn't that.
Boyhood was, I think. Oh, maybe that was the same year. I'm getting them confused. They were 1 year apart, but they like movies are kind of movies have been like that for a long time. Like. It was a long time ago and people kind of forget about it, but like that's what happens to make people big time. Like Quentin Tarantino was this little guy making little movies, and then Pulp Fiction came out and kaboom. Like it was like, oh, this is really good. And then it got nominated for like 7 or 8 Oscars.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it was like everybody saw it, and now it became a cult film. The Coen brothers, same thing. Like they'd made like so many really good movies like Blood Simple and Raising Arizona and all these little things, and then they made Fargo and kaboom.
Yeah.
Like it was just that, but that's their marketing strategy. It's like just get it seen and people will think it's amazing. To sell the next fucking 7 Transformers sequels, you're going to need a lot of advertising so that people are constantly reminded, oh, well, I saw the other 3, I should see the 4th one. And then, even though they go and it might not be up to their expectations or might not be a good movie, you've made your opening weekend box office. So they need to do that so that they can produce the ones at a loss.
It was the same year, by the way.
You can't take a movie that's like, let's use Captain America Civil War, for example. You can't just take Captain America, plop it in theaters, and say, hey, everyone, go watch it. I mean, you're gonna get a certain amount of people that are still gonna jump out of their seats and go watch it. But because with movies, there's you can't just do it anywhere, right? Like if you could openly watch movies from home, then I think that's a little different. It's like all of a sudden, boom, this new movie is out today. You can watch it on demand, on your phone, on your console, on your computer, whatever. But where movies you have to. Well, I'm not saying like anything could do that. But
I think there's like a select few. Like I think maybe Quentin Tarantino is like that's limited my list right there.
He's a name, but I think there's titles that could succeed in it.
Well, and because when you're looking at movies, like the movie theater, you basically have to sort of reckon that to like a Broadway show. You're not consuming a movie at a theater the same way you consume a video game or like a piece of music. Like you can buy the physical copy and listen to it as many times as you want or play it as many times as you want. There, you're paying for essentially a public exhibition of that movie, and you pay the premium for it. And to do that, you're going to have to sort of get the advance hype. Oh, I want that experience. And then 5 months down the road, oh, now I can buy the Blu-ray and watch it a million times. Like that's a unique thing outside of a lot of other parts of entertainment. It's like going to a concert, basically.
Mark, I want you to know that we just talked about 30 minutes of fucking nothing because your offhanded comment about shit just. I'm sorry, that was. I
think we could blame you for talking about Diablo 4, maybe.
Yeah,
I think we can blame all of us because this is a podcast about nothing.
Fucking hypothetical. What if shit just drops randomly?
I
mean, what if you know what, guys? What if Sony and Microsoft got together and said, you know what, fuck it, let's just develop for the Switch. Like, what if that happened? That's
what if wouldn't it be amazing if like they announce a brand new Zelda game? Like, let's say Breath of the Wild, great example. Breath of the Wild available on Wii U and Nintendo Switch. And then on release day, you show up at your fucking Walmart with your best friend to buy it, and there's a fucking blue disc or blue copy PS4 and a green copy Xbox One, Zelda Breath of the Wild. Like, how much would that A, just blow everybody's fucking mind, and B, piss everybody the fuck off for just buying a Nintendo console to play this game?
So real news.
Membo console wars.
Membo.
The Wii U just went out of production this week, I think. So
I think they said on Thursday or Friday the last one is going through the conveyor belt. Yeah.
So the official like numbers is like 13 whatever million.
13.3, I think. Yeah.
So which tells me like Breath of the Wild is like almost exclusively going to be like how many are they going to make for fucking the copies are they going to make for the Wii U?
Oh, it'd be like Twilight Princess. They'll make enough, but not a bunch.
Here's a question though.
I'm gonna buy that on both consoles. You know why? Because Breath of the Wild.
Because Twilight Princess was better on the Wii than it was on the Wii U or on the GameCube.
No, it was better
than
on
the
GameCube.
Wii. Scarcity. They're only gonna make so many copies for the Wii U because I mean.
I don't know, because they like Twilight Princess was the same thing. Like they were firmly at the end of the GameCube's run of things. Like the Wii was absolutely what they were going with. Like it had almost been a year like since the Wii had debuted and became a big thing. Yeah. And then Twilight Princess came out. Like the GameCube was practically dead, and they still released it. And they're not scarce to find. Like you can still find copies of Twilight Princess on the GameCube. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I see where your thinking is going, but it'd be interesting. Like if they've sold 13 million Wii U's, it'll it
all depends on what their plans are with how many Switches are planning to be produced at launch, right?
2 million, I think, is what I said.
Yeah. So that's
so what you're saying is Nintendo is thinking that I've got 99 problems and a Switch ain't one.
Wow. I think that is a great time to close out episode 2.
Bad dad jokes
on Battleflag's bad dad joke.
So they said they're gonna launch more than 2 million Switch consoles for March launch if needed. So I'm gonna pre-order that shit as soon as it's out.
Oh, I'm the same because I'm a consumer whore. So.
And I'm gonna get Skyrim on it because Skyrim, I can't wait to play Skyrim in HD.
I like our argument about Skyrim on the bus. It's like I can't wait to show you how I'm not gonna play Skyrim on the bus.
But you could be a squid and a kid on the bus.
I could, yeah. Or I could be an esports team playing against the best Koreans in the world.
Yay!
But anyways, guys, that's gonna wrap up episode 2 of the Terrible Gaming Podcast, where we discussed just a whole bunch of stuff. Did we get anywhere? No.
I feel like we wasted a bunch of people's time.
But you know what? Did we?
No, we talked about some new games, and we talked about
we wasted 30 minutes talking about hypothetical of shit just started dropping randomly.
You know what? There's that one guy who's like, dude, I was totally thinking about this the other day, and these guys just totally nailed it.
Yeah.
But
we got him. We got him.
If you're watching this on YouTube, youtube.com/terriblegamingbros, give the video a like if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below about anything that we've talked about, whether you agree, disagree. And if you listen to it on one of the podcast services that we think will be on eventually, then don't forget to subscribe to our feeds on that.
I would like to thank our sponsors. I would like to thank Tesla for sponsoring us. I would also like to thank Oprah Winfrey for sponsoring us.
Yeah.
I would like to thank the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for sponsoring us. I would like to thank... Oh, sorry.
I was going to say big news that actually because of the sponsorship with Oprah, the Terrible Gaming Podcast will be the first ever non-Oprah cover of the Oprah Winfrey magazine. So expect that. Expect that in I believe Febtober 3150 is when that one launches. So
also we're going to be the first podcast that's going to podcast from Mars. Thanks, Elon Musk.
Elon Musk is sponsoring our trip to Mars. So basically, it's 600,000 for the 3 of us to get there, plus our equipment. Wouldn't that be great to be like the first podcast from Mars? Or
sponsoring us?
But no headphone jacks and no USBs and laptops.
Oh. Thank you, Facebook, for sponsoring us.
Yeah. PSVR, thank you for sponsoring. Oh, I don't have
thank
a
you,
PSVR.
Skyrim.
So, yeah. Thank you, Skyrim.
Algor, thank you for sponsoring.
Today's episode is brought to you by Fus Roda. Yeah. But again, we've wasted enough of your guys' time with all of our bullshit. My name is Grover, joined as always by the other host of the Terrible Gaming Podcast, Battleflag.
Right over here.
And Jofu.
I like to thank our sponsor, Joe Rogan, for sponsoring us.
We'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.
Pandering.
Wow.